Elohim. So, this portion in this word and this message and these messages are always about Elohim and why we put you first and why we put what you say first. Because the world will try to tell you, just as there was a pastor who told my mother when Elohim revealed to her to have a conversation with my dad about something decades ago, and she was fearful to tell him and fearful to have the conversation and the awkwardness. Today, you revealed something to me where I would have to have a conversation with someone. It was going to be an awkward conversation, but that didn't mean that I didn't need to happen. If I had to listen to someone else tell me, no, don't have that conversation, no, don't post that, no, don't do that. Like in this moment, there are people who are saying, before this moment, there were people who are saying, and pastors who are saying, and people who are saying, and their perspective is, no, it's gonna be reflect badly on your husband. It's gonna reflect badly on your dad. It's gonna reflect badly on your whole family. It's gonna reflect. No, what it reflects badly on is the people who encourage individuals to go against Elohim. It doesn't say that people haven't sinned and fallen short of the esteem of Elohim. It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that we don't repent. It doesn't say that we haven't had prodigal moments. It doesn't say that we have never sinned. But it doesn't say all who. It's the word says all who are in Elohim have ceased from sin. We no longer do we just willingly say, I'm going to sin, I'm going to commit adultery, I'm going to fornicate, I'm going to steal, I'm going to murder somebody, I'm going to what is it? A lot of things, many sins. I'm just naming the 10 things out. I'm going to do those kinds of things. I'm going to covet. I'm going to have idols. I'm going to make graven images. No longer would you just willingly do those things. We don't just willingly enter into that. And so when someone is concerned about me saying that or sharing a message or posting something or putting on, it's going to reflect badly on your whole family. It reflects badly on your husband. It reflects badly on your dad. It reflects badly on churches. It reflects badly, again, on anyone who was encouraging someone to put the idols, to put the world, to put ideals of man above the word of Elohim, above the way of Elohim, above Messiah, above the Ruach, above Elohim himself, above his instruction. There are times for uncomfortable conversations and different things like that with the people, for example, who encourage relatives, who encourage people in the church, who encourage my dad, who encourage my parents, who encourage my husband, who encourage me to break off your oaths and your covenants to Elohim. Oh, Elohim told you to do that instruction and go to this place. Now you can wait a year, you can wait this time, you can delay. Elohim told you to reconcile with this person or your spouse or your kinfolk or this or that. Oh, make peace with them or do this or do that. No, you don't have to do that. You can delay. You don't have to do this. You don't have to do that. No. My responsibility is not to mankind. It is to Elohim. When I'm doing my duty to man, it's because of my oath and my covenant commitment to Elohim. When I'm serving mankind, it's because of my oath and my commitment to Elohim. When I am following the instruction of the Father, it's because of my oath and my commitment to Him, my obedience to Him. I love Him, and I love Him, and because I love Him, I obey Him. It doesn't reflect badly on Him, it's reflecting badly on the lies that have been told. The lies of you can go out and party, the lies of you can go have orgies, the lies of you can go fornicate, the lies of you can sex around, the lies that you can be dating people. The lies about being outside of courtship, the lies about being outside of covenant marriage, the lies about you can be with multiple partners and have multiple spouses, the lies about you can have, there's more than one marriage in a row, the lies about adultery and fornication, the lies about thievery, the lies about witchcraft. The lies about partaking in the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, the pride of life. The lies about the things that Elohim hates and abominates that disgust him. The lies about the things that harm the Ruach, that harm the soul, that are of death, that are of darkness, that are saltless, no savor. We are not to encourage and to promote and to entice and encourage and persuade people into those things and think that that is pleasing to Elohim, because it's not. Thinking that you're being a friend or a bro or a sis or a good witness of a wedding or a vow or anything when encouraging, It doesn't matter if you're a relative. It doesn't matter if you're a so-called friend. It doesn't matter if you're a stranger. It doesn't matter if you are at work. That is not what Elohim teaches. That's not training the way to go. So no, it witnesses against the lies of these false trainings that do not come from Elohim, that don't come from the word, that don't come from the living one and the living water. That don't come from the truth and righteousness and love and perfect love. In the maturity of Elohim, in the future, in the hope and the desire and the plans of the Father. It doesn't come from that. So let that be known. This isn't a testament against, oh, this person's saying you're holding on to this. And no, the continuation of teaching people that they can fornicate, that they can covet, they can make adultery, that they can break their vows and their oaths to Elohim is not true. That can be in marriages of flesh, of fornication, that they can reject the Ruah, that they can reject Messiah and the Father and the Elohim, and he be pleased. That there are not consequences and repercussions and things for that. That we can just break covenant, break vow to Yahuah, and it's no big deal. That's not true. You may have gotten divorced. You may have been, but that's also where the repentance to Elohim. You may have been through certain things. That's a repentance to Elohim to continue to remain devoted. So once again, it's not for, hey, oh, I got leadership. They want me to go and be a pastor. And Elohim said, I didn't ordain you to be a pastor. For them to be like, you should be a pastor. Trying to get me to sin against Elohim. That's not what he called me to. He called me to disciple. To be his disciple. He called me to another position. I don't need to tell you what those are, but it certainly ain't a pastor. But other people are like, you should do this and you should do that. Even that is sin against Elohim. All these people that was telling me, take those contracts with the rich people and da-da-da-da-da. How could you do this? How could you not? How could you not know your worth? You need to leave this area. You need to do this. This is why you're not supposed to be in a state. All of these things that people would try to tell me is the wrong thing. But they're witnessing against the truth of Elohim, his instruction, his word, his scripture, and his vocalized word towards me. So I'm not going to follow that. And other people should not do it either. We are all account to give our account to Elohim. You will stand before him on the judgment day. We all will. And even before that. So Father, continue to have your way, your desire be done on earth as it is in the Shemayim. And let it be known, let the truth be what the people hear and receive from you. Seek him in all things. And let him illuminate the path. And you shall share. Shalom. Shabbat shalom.
This is to the one who said they have a bone to pick with me and certain things irk their soul and I don't favor them like I do others, right? And I don't. Because the reality is what you do vexes my soul. And if you know Elohim and have a part of Elohim, you know that it vexes his soul too, the things that he does not like. You don't like what I do. I don't like culture that is cult, that is not of the Father. The reason, because it does. It vexes the soul. It harms the Ruach. Sin is harmful. So when all of these people say to me, you're harming people, no, they're also not looking at the fact that they're harming themselves. You're harming people in the environment and community. You're harming people in the environment and the community. You walk around all day like your choices and your actions are not harmful to people who are believers, to children, to people who see you wear immodest clothes, tight clothing, to the people who know truth and know that claws are not something that we're supposed to indulge in. Even those things, every time a person is a believer, they are convicted by sin. And sin is harmful, and sin does not feel good. It vexes the soul, is what the word you want to use. But the reality is not that it vexes the soul, it harms the soul. You're talking about people were like, she's the one in pain. I'm not in pain in the way that you think. But everything that is sin is harmful to the soul. It bruises. Adultery bruises the soul. Fornication bruises the soul. Stealing bruises the soul. Lying bruises the soul. These things, if you are a believer, you feel the conviction of sin. There is a sting to sin. A sting. It doesn't feel good, and it's not supposed to. So all day long, there's a scripture verse. This is the equivalent. When you walk in belief, of the word of the scripture, this is the equivalent to what happens. It says all creation groans inwardly. All creation groans, groaning inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. That is what it feels like to be in the world and not of it as a believer on the daily. On the daily. And so people who aren't believers, who are not convicted by their sin, or pretend to not be convicted by sin. It doesn't even have to be your own sin. You could be walking down the street and the Ruach in your soul and your heart groans inwardly. Not just on the appearance of sin, but the conviction of what you know is sin. It's death every time. Every time. Every time the Ruach feels the sting of sin, the sting of death. Every time. And so you walk in the world and not of it, groaning inwardly daily for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. When my Ruach is like, where are your people, Yah? It's the scripture. It's scripture. It is the word of Elohim actualized in my life. When I go about daily in the world and not of it, and the Ruach in me groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. That is the word of the Father, of my Father of Elohim. The truth actualized in me, in my life. So the person who had a bone to pick with me, the woman singing, the man singing about gathering in there, and this was a person of black culture. I'm pointing it out because you had a bone to pick with me. That's what you said. You said it vexes your soul. And you showed me what you like. You like claws. You like bangles. You like tight clothing. You like the things representative of black culture that you see in videos. I'm not here to condemn you, but I'm here to let you know. The word doesn't lie. All creation, the earth cries. The rocks cry out. The creation of Elohim and the nature of Elohim witnesses of the things that happen upon the earth. And the word says, all creation groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. That's what it feels like to be a believer in the world and not of it on the daily. Moment by moment, minute by minute, every time. The sting of sin and death, the stench of it reaches your nostrils. And you hate the sin. And you hate the death. And your Ruah and the peace and part and oneness with Elohim groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. That is truth. So you don't like my witness. But don't pretend to me that you don't feel the sting of sin and death. That you don't feel the conviction of what displeases the Father. That you don't know the truth when all creation groans inwardly at the revealing of the sons of Elohim. When I said Elohim sent me on missions and stuff, and I was, where are your children? People feel the same way about me, and they're going to. I'm not supposed to be the solution to their groaning. Not in that way. I mean in the context of I'm not supposed to be the dependency or the thing that they cling to. Yeah, they should find me as we should find sons of Elohim, is what I'm trying to say. As we're walking and we're groaning inwardly for the revelation of sons of Elohim, I should encounter sons of Elohim in my lifetime. Yet, what I cling to, what I love, what I know I need and depend upon, it shouldn't be the sons of Elohim, it should be Elohim. So whether I find the revelation or get connected with sons of Elohim or not, should always be at rest in the Father, no matter what. No matter what, no matter how much groaning I encounter, my soul should be at ease by the Father. And it is. It is. I can't deny. I could, but it would be foolish to deny the groaning. It would be foolish to deny the groaning. The groaning exists. The groaning is spoken of by the Father, by the Word, by Messiah, by His disciples, by the Ruach. I don't despise the groaning. I do despise the sin and the death and the sting of it, because it's like, it is disgusting, but it's harmful. Not to the soul of when I'm experiencing it on account of the world and everything around me. And even of myself, when you experience it of yourself, the sting of your own sin, the sting of your own death, even in that you feel the harm, the detriment to another. I don't know about other people, but it's not the harm that it does to me, the harm that it is to other souls. And that's why I can get roused up and speak out the ought, and speak out the concern, and speak out what is flowing from the Ruah of the harm, knowingly and unknowingly. Especially that, for the example of the curses. Do you know how many people didn't know that was a curse? They're out here, they're laughing and giggling and not knowing they're putting curses upon themselves because of the apparel they choose to put on. And who has told them? Who has covered them from that sting of that sin and that death? Who has kept them from ensnaring and enslaving and entrapping themselves? Elohim. Elohim, as a good father, desires to. But I don't pretend that I don't feel that sting of the sin and death that even I watch others ensnared in. That I don't feel it. Even if conviction when it's not my own soul. The creation groans. You groan inwardly concerning it. About your concern for kindness and feelings and hurt and pain. And we experience it moment by moment, day by day. The Ruach highlights all day long the women who are depleted, who are drained, who are seeking retail therapy, who are overloaded, who have lacked patience with their own children, imbalanced. The groaning inwardly at the foods and things that are just nasty. No substance, no soul, no life there, no adding to. It's like the example of David and the men when they ate fruit with seed inside itself as a witness for 10 days against the king's men and the king's food. That's what it's like to be a believer in this world. You're trying to feed me of the kings of this world, and it's empty. It's empty. It has no flavor. It's tasteless. It's substanceless. It's without the salt. It's with lacking in the salt of the earth. Lacking in the nutrient. Lacking in nature. Lacking in the seed within itself. Lacking in providing substance. And it didn't add anything to my life. It's not like eating the food of Elohim, the sovereign, who said, I have given you the plants of the earth and the fruit with the seed inside itself. And even the clean animals. And he has said at a time, don't say now what I have called clean, unclean. That goes for, when he said that to Shaul, that was in regards to me. I'm sending a person to you that I tell you he is of a different ethnicity. And you were once told not to fellowship with them, they were unclean to your people. But I have called this individual, specifically I have pointing them out to you. And I'm telling you, this specific individual was clean. Him and his entire household. Elohim does that all day long. We see them all day long. The ailments, hips misplaced, the wet heaviness, the dreariness, the confusion, the need for attention, insatiable appetites, gluttony, heaviness, unclean spirit, overtaken in lust. It has a presence. It has a presence. And when there are people who decided that they choose those things over the Father, that's what I'm referring to by get that uncleanness out of my presence. When you choose to be overtaken in those snares, when you choose to love the darkness, when you choose to love the sin and the death and the sting of it, when you choose to be desensitized to sin and death, to the things that displease the being of Elohim. People think that with regard to me, because you're not treating us kindly, but you're choosing to love the things that are sin and death. You're choosing to love it. And in righteousness, the hate of the word, in the paleo, and the origin of that means to turn away from. So of course I turn away from. I don't sit there and watch you love the sting of sin and death. I don't sit there and watch you put on the things of sin and death as a piece of clothing, as a joy, as a celebration, as a praise, as a party. That's what you just showed me, that you like to gather together. You're gathering in the sense of what you're telling yourself. You're having a good time. It's your culture. And again, this was a person who had a bone to pick with me of black. They were black. And they wanted to show me specifically things of their black culture. And they were singing. And what did they say? I don't favor them like I do others. And they are vexed. It reminds me of an individual, you know who you are, who use that term all the time. Your soul might be vexed, but you know the truth. The Pharisees and Sadducees that followed Messiah knew the truth. They already knew that John was revealed as a prophet, so they were afraid to go against him in public, speak a lie against him in public, because they knew the people would riot. And they were afraid to also acknowledge that he was from Elohim, because the people would riot. And then they would be revealed as liars. Because if they had said he was from Elohim, then Messiah would have said to them, then why do you not believe him? They reasoned that in their own thoughts. And Messiah heard it, and he knew. He knew they reasoned. He knew they understood truth. The same as how Elohim knew Abraham's dad knew the truth. He reasoned. He had a circumstance of knowing, you know that this is not righteous. You know that these are idols. But you continue to worship them. It's like me knowing wearing. If Elohim tells me to give up the claws, it's an idol. You're like, that's what you're doing to us. You're condemning us and convicting us as idol worship. No. You're talking about your soul is vexed. And I'm telling you, you know the witchcraft is evil. You know it.
You know that culture is not of Elohim. You know the cultish ways are not of the Father, they're not truth. You know that trying to enforce me into a snare, trying to cause me to lie, trying to trip me up and trap me up is not of Elohim. Y'all know the truth. Same as I know the truth. You know you have tried to oppress me. You know you have tried to deliberately come against me. You know you have tried to hurt me and to harm me. You know your whole thing was, to prove you were never my friend, to prove that God wasn't with you. All of the witchcraft and evil works you've done against me, all the gathering of all these people, y'all know y'all did it in an evil intention against Elohim. You know you made an evil covenant against me with others. You know that. Y'all know y'all have lied against me. You know the way that you have lied to say I've slandered other people when I've given witness and testimony because of your witchcraft against me. Because you've tried to ensnare me, because you tried to trip me up, because you tried to enslave me, because you tried to oppress me. Because the evil intentions of your heart was, I'm going to expose you're not who I thought, because you had an ought with me. Because you hated me. Because you hated the ways or the actions or my personality or the things that I said. Because you felt hurt and harmed by me. In danger. But instead of you saying, you know what, I just don't like the way you treat me and I don't want to be in your life. And addressing the ought with me in a biblical way. You decided to make it public. And now when I had to address it publicly, you were offended. You're like, you're always playing the victim. I'm not playing the victim. I'm giving the testimony that Elohim told me to give. That Elohim told me to give. You work so hard to try to prove you've never been this and that. Even to the point of pregnancies, miscarriages, family, relatives, spouses, covenants. But you know the truth and so do I. You know the truth. All of you who ban an ought against me. I know what the truth is. Which is why I'm not ashamed. Why I'm not afraid to go publicly with my testimony that what Elohim told me to do. I wasn't afraid to be honest when he said that man's testimony, my spouse's testimony, would shake hell. But you all who have an ought decided to go in the way that you decided. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You don't believe Elohim told me to give my testimony, give my witness. And you don't think it's appropriate for me to address these people who have publicly and for years had aught against me and never come to me and made it a public matter, and I had to address it a public matter because I don't see you, I don't interact with you, and I don't talk to you. And the only way for you to get to message is for me to address it publicly, just like you made your evil covenant a public matter. And the reason I witness to it on here is because that's what I've been given to do in the biblical order, is to witness. To overcome by the blood of the Lamb, the word of my witness, my testimony.
I was instructed by Elohim to give my testimony. It has nothing to do with, oh, you're just exposing these people in this. I'm exposing my own testimony. Witnessing of the own account of my own daily experiences as a believer. As a believer. Again, you don't have to feel like, oh, because I've been vexed, because my soul and my being has been convicted by even the sin of others, not just my own. And because I've decided I don't want to do that against Elohim. Now you feel like, oh, I was not being real in moments. No, I was completely real in every moment. I meant what I said in those moments. And I meant the experiences that I had before. However, repentance and continual movement in the flow of the living waters naturally makes all the other things that are unholy fall away. Naturally, your being begins to be continually molded to the desire of Elohim. So you want to fault me that my being is continually molded to what Elohim desires. And my being continually rejects what he does not desire. I am continually being molded and shaped by the Father. And you don't like it. You don't have to. On the flip side, when my being and my soul groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim, if you take it personal, if you are hurt and harmed by that, know that I feel the sting of sin and death. I feel disgusted as my being groans inwardly for creation and all creation, along with all creation, for the revealing of sons of Elohim. You are groaning too. You are groaning inwardly, as the word says, for the revelation of sons of Elohim. You want me to be revealed as a son of Elohim. Through the kindness, through treating you kindly, that's what you believe a son of Elohim is. Through loving you and accepting you as you are, you think that's what a believer is. You think that that's what the Father is. But my being, my soul, the Ruach in me groans inwardly for what the word says. Period. What the word says. Because the word is Messiah, because the word is Elohim, because the word is as the Son of Elohim is to be revealed. When I'm walking daily and living in this world and encountering the things that are contrary to the word, my being groans inwardly. And in the very moment of sin and death, the sting of sin and death, my being groans inwardly for the revelation, for the Son of Elohim to be revealed in creation, for it to be revealed in the male and the female, for it to be revealed in the earth, for it to be revealed in the belief community, for it to be revealed and actualized in all creation, as Elohim desires. As Elohim desires. And my expectation is that it's according to the word. I'm expecting it according to the word, and you're expecting it according to what you believe. That is our differences. Your mind is expecting it to what your mind believes. My mind is expecting it to what the Father tells me, what the Word tells me, what the Scripture, what the Ruach, what Messiah tells me is truth. Is truth. If you're working so hard to prove, oh, you're going to be destitute because you vex my soul, because you don't like male and female the way I do, because you don't like my truth. Your truth is not Elohim. And it never has been and it never will be. So go ahead and be vexed. I've cleared up my ought with you in the way that is possible. You don't want to accept that. You don't want to let go. You don't want to let go that I was never supposed to love what Elohim hates. You don't want to let go of the truth that Elohim creates a marriage and a union and creates babies. But yes, at times miscarriages happen. And you don't want to accept the truth of that. However, I don't have to be weighed down by it. I don't have to go around here living your lie because you choose to call me a liar. I don't have to. I don't have to go around here breaking the covenants or living in adultery. I'm not going to live in adultery because you don't believe what Elohim has spoken of my life. I'm not going to deny miscarriages are real because you don't believe that of my life. I'm not going to deny the inward groaning for the revelation of the sons of Elohim because you don't believe the witness of my life. I'm not going to deny because you don't believe what happens in my Ruach, according to the Ruach of Elohim. Because you don't agree or believe or accept me. That's the difference. I'm not asking for you to accept me to belong with you. When I said they don't meet the standard, and then I elaborated they don't meet the standard according to the word. Yes, it is the Elohim who anoints and appoints and elects. But he does not transgress his own word in his anointing and appointing and his electing. Look at the witness in the word of Messiah, David, and all these others in the repentance that they walked out in their lives. You want me to repent of how you felt like I was never a friend to you, or I've hurt your feelings, or you have it all against me, or you felt like I've lied about this and that because I won't reveal certain things to you, or because you've watched it be a certain way. You watch me live in a yurt, or you've heard it by hearsay. And so because you think because I've lived in a yurt that, oh, this and that. Oh, you get offended because I said about the dirt. You act like you've never sinned. You act like you don't feel the sting of sin and death. The sting of it. You act like you don't feel the sting of sin and death. You act like you don't know the truth. That is offensive. That's offensive. Like you act like you don't know any of the word. When all creation groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. You act like you don't know those things aren't of cults and culture of the world. And you act like it's wrong for me to say I don't want that. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to feel like you belong with me or accepted by me or loved by me. If you desire so much Creation, when it says all creation groans inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim, it's not because, why am I waiting for the sons? Why am I groaning inwardly for that? It's not because I want to feel loved by them. It's not because I want to feel accepted by them. It's not because I want to feel like I belong with them. It's because naturally, my soul desires, when I feel the sting of sin and death for my own sin or the sin of others, it's a natural inward groaning for the revelation of the sons of Elohim. The revelation to be revealed in you, the revelation to be actualized in you, the revelation to become one with your being, that you will live as a son of Elohim, as all creation has been called to, created for, and designed for. But I don't make that choice for others. I don't make the choice to make you a son of Elohim. Elohim made the choice. You either accept it or deny it. But I choose to accept his desire. It is my own desire as his desire. You want to say that I'm a liar? You want to believe that I'm a liar? That's what you want to believe? It said, let Elohim be true and every man be a liar. Whether you think that, oh, you lied of the past or this or that wasn't right. Whether you believe, oh, the testimony's not true, it's a lie. Well, this part of it is a lie, it can't be true. You lived in a cabin, you lived in resorts, you lived in inexperienced, the most expensive places, and also in a tent. You lived in the lowliest of, well, maybe not the lowliest, but in the sense of like with the least. Let me say that. You live with the least of things and the most of things. Whether or not you want to think that testimony is truth, that doesn't matter. But it does to you, maybe. Just like I said for myself, that opinion doesn't determine whether I have life or not. I'm utilizing for my own life Elohim's desire as the standard whether or not I have life or not. His word is the standard whether I do. His written word, but also his word that he communicates to me. So yes, when he communicates, this person is weary. That person has a disease or sickness. And he highlights even the bodily ailment. Some things you see with the eye, but more so is of the Ruah. The oppression, the depressions, the weariness, the heaviness. Those who have not entered into his rest. He said he swore on that day if they would just enter into his rest. That's what it means for him to be the answer. I'm not trying to, it doesn't, you could hate me all you want. You could feel like she's a know-it-all. She wants to have all the answers. She's this, she's that. It doesn't matter. You should not care about me that much. That is my point. You should not be idolizing me that much. You should not be fixated that much on me. You should not be that fixated on getting vengeance against me. You have corrupted yourself in your obsession with getting vengeance of me, or proving me wrong, or proving me a sinner, or proving me a liar, or proving me a slanderer, or trying to harm and oppress me, or trying to get me to understand how you feel, or trying to vex me. You have ensnared yourself with your obsession against me. with you trying to condemn me. Oh, because you're condemning everybody. You have ensnared yourself by putting me on a pedestal in your own life. By you hating me that much. You hate pride people. They don't realize I'm don't. It's not that. It's the person who keeps trying to come in vengeance against me. And I'm having to address them because they have it all against me. I'm having to address them because they have an alt against me. And the reason I have to address it public, because you keep making it public. Because you keep gathering with a multitude of people. You didn't make it a private matter. You made it a public matter. I have to continue in biblical order and address it publicly. I'm not your friend. We're not communicating on a personal, private level. We're not doing this one-on-one. You are not a part of the Assembly of Elohim. You now have brought it one-on-one and then 2-3 witnesses and before the Assembly of Elohim. You call it before your silent majority, and that doesn't exist. It's not righteous. However, nonetheless, I'm having to address it because this person constantly keeps bringing up their alt with me. And they have that alt with regard to the pride people. That's why I keep having to address it. It's because they keep bringing in an alt to me, and I'm having to address it publicly. That's why. It's not because I'm thinking about it every single day. I mentioned to you the things that he highlights every day. Yes, my being, the soul grows inwardly for the revelation of Elohim. But what did he highlight yesterday? People with ailments, hips misjointed, weariness, burden. I wasn't even focused on people of the pride, but the person who has keep coming against me in alt is. That's why that's being brought up, because of their alt. It's because of your alt that I have to address it. Or what is highlighted by Elohim daily. That's why I'm addressing those things. Otherwise, I wouldn't. That's why I went days and days and weeks with it. I'm not on here and trying to address that daily. The things I encountered on the daily. No. Why did I say obvious in those former videos last week or whatever? Obviously, I have to address this because it keeps coming up, because you keep bringing it up. Because yes, you're going to continue to be offended by it. I am going to continue to be offended by sin and death. Why does that not change? Because the word says all creation grows inwardly for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. But also, sin is not of Elohim, death is not of Elohim. So if his Ruah is in me, and his Ruah, his light of life is in me, and his truth is in me. Every time there is a lie, the truth is going to be raised up as a standard. Conviction is going to happen because sin has a sting. Conviction is going to happen because death has a sting. There's a righteous condemnation to condemn. Every tongue that rises against me in judgment, I shall condemn to be in the wrong. That is righteous condemnation. In righteous judgment. Judge righteously. Messiah said, don't say whether or not it's right or wrong. Say whether or not it's right or wrong according to the Torah, to the teaching. Teaching of what? Teaching of Elohim. Teaching of belief. Teaching of Messiah. The teaching of the Ruach. That is what we are living under in this time. When I say the law, the teaching of, I don't mean the law of sacrifices. I mean the law, the instruction and teaching of Elohim, of Messiah, and of belief, and of the Ruach. He fulfilled the teaching of the sacrifices. because he is the ultimate sacrifice. I'm saying the word that is still active and being presently fulfilled, that changes not, that he is the teacher, for example. Anyway, people think that, oh, I'm approved stealing intellectual property or doing this or doing that. Or people have been so, their fears of, well, you're going to be destitute if you express all of that stuff and they can come to you. Listen, if my being is convicted and groans inwardly daily for the revealing of the sons of Elohim, why would I not in love do what Elohim has given me to do as a disciple? He feeds me the truth. Why would I not let the truth flow from my mouth so that somebody else could be freed, could be saved? Is that not more important than your fear? Than your fears and your worries and concerns about not making money off revealing the truth of Elohim? There are so many people who have come to me about that. You're going to be destitute if you don't make a course out of this, if you don't charge these people, if you don't know the value of your content, if you don't know the value of the messages you're putting out here, you don't know the value of your work. I do not live in that fear, and Messiah didn't either. You want to say I don't have love? You want to believe that lie? You want to believe the lie that we don't want people to be whole and complete and filled and free and one with Elohim? You want to believe that lie? That's not on me. That's on you. It's not on me. It's on you. You want to believe the lie that I'm not supposed to be with whom Elohim spoke from his very mouth he created me to be with? That's on you. That's not on me. You want to believe that his witness in word. Elohim, for example, gave me a name. He gave my spouse a name. You want to believe that what Elohim has given us from the beginning of creation is not truth? That is on you. I won't believe that lie with you. I will not believe the lie with you. You want to believe the lie that, oh, you're answering to this guy. You're doing this for this guy. You're giving content for this guy. This guy is stealing your intellectual property. It's a lie. It's a lie. No one has the power and the authority over me. These people lie about, oh, you're lying about being with this guy. You lied about only being with two guys. No, I did not. First one of a marriage of fornication, because he was not my husband in Ruah. Second one, a union of Ruah, only forged together by Elohim himself. I don't ask people to believe that. I don't ask people to believe that. I don't ask you to believe that is the truth. To see that, that is the truth. To experience that, that is the truth. I don't have to depend on your belief for that. I know what is true, and I know what Elohim says is true. And I hold to what Elohim says is true. What I know is true of what Elohim says is true. And what his Ruach and mine and our being one has experienced together as one as being true. I don't have to accept these other lies. The odds against me, once again, that are not founded in the truth of Elohim. It's not founded in the truth of Elohim. Not by blood, not by water, not by the Ruach, not by the presence and the experience of Elohim, not by the truth in my life. I don't have to accept that. It's like saying there were many men that liked me throughout my life. There were only a few, very few, who had the courage to come to me and say that. Did I have a relationship with all of those people just because they liked me? No. No. Did I date those people? No. Was I courting with all of those people? No. Was I married with all those people? No. Was I made one even in spirits with all those people? No. Was I made one in Ruach with all them? Absolutely not. Only with one. Only with one. Only with one. All of these other things, it's like somebody saying, well, we went on a date. No, we did not. It's like you saying to a person, I'm not on a date with you. Like if I came from a class, for example, if I was in university and came from a class and somebody was like, oh yeah, y'all want to hang out afterwards? And then they're like, hey, I offered to get this food for you or something. You're like, don't think that I don't want you buying me lunch or this or that or paying for my meal too, and saying that this is a date or something. That's not what this is. If you establish that clear, and then they go around behind your back and be like, well, we were on. No, we did not. It's like that kind of a lie. It's like that kind of lie. That's a lie. It's like saying, oh, I was in a relationship with her because I liked her and we worked together and we were friendly. That's a lie. It's like, oh, well, I thought you were my friend. When I said I'm not your friend, I don't trust. If I came to do something and I was like, I don't trust any of his people, I made that clear. I'm a believer. This is what I believe. This is what I stand in. This is what I follow. And then they got to alt with me because I would address what my stance is. Or come in here and I'm like, I'm not compromising on a word. When it comes down to the come down, if you want me to compromise on a word, if a situation tries to get me to compromise on a word, I'm not doing it. And they'll be like, well, you didn't say that. I didn't know that. I thought we were. No, I didn't tell you that. I didn't say I was your friend. I didn't say because we worked together we were friends, or whether we were associates, or whether we associated together, or whether we were friendly. It's like somebody saying, you're my best friend. And I was like, a Messiah is my best friend. I like my actual friends, all for different reasons. How many times have I said that? And for people who truly know me, know that. So someone who's lied against that, it's like, well, we were friends, or I thought we were friends, or we were never friends. I was friends with certain people in the past. But did I consider any human being my best friend? No, I did not. And I still don't. And when I've said, well, this person or that person is not a friend according to the word standard, and I've on the other side said I haven't been a friend to them in the word standard. Have they laid down their life? Greater love have you than you lay down your life for a friend? Where do they lay down their life for me? So by the word standard, you're not a friend. I didn't lie about that. Anyway. Anywho, there have been people that Elohim has had us travel for, to be there and be there friendly and provide gifts and do things that was on his heart to do for them. And there have been people who have, towards us, felt like it was just so difficult to even be considerate of hey man, maybe I do want to get you a snack. Maybe I do want to buy you a card. Maybe I do want to tell you, I'm glad you were born today. Just different things like that. Anyway, all of that stuff's neither here nor there. Yeah, there are plenty of people. That's why I was like, I'm not taking on your fears. I'm not taking on your worries. I'm not taking on your heaviness. I'm not taking on your lies. You believe that, oh my goodness, if I give too much of what flows freely from Elohim, I'm going to be destitute. No. Oh, these people just keep testing you, blah, 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 blah. They keep talking about, you're testing us. I'm not testing you. The fact that you feel tested by things, I'm not even worried about you in that way. It is disgusting to me. It is annoying to me. It is sad to me because it's like, I'm not even thinking about you in that way. You might be thinking about it that way, but it's not. My world does not revolve around you. The world does not revolve around you. The daily does not revolve around you. And people have said that to me. And no, that is scripture. The scripture is like, Elohim didn't create all creation just for me. So I'm not on here expressing things daily. Oh, you were taking attention by putting it on here. No, I'm doing it because Elohim instructed me to do that. I didn't have to give that whole testimony. It's not even 10% of my whole life. But I didn't have to give that on there. I don't have to come on here and do these things as though like I have to do it for some kind of validation or for myself. Or because I just want to do it. When I'm moved and compelled to do certain things, I'm going to do it. Anyway, yeah, you have your way. It's Shabbat. I thank you. I love you. It's beautiful out. The star, the luminaries, presence with you in your nature. And continue to have your way and be esteemed. Continue to have your way and be esteemed. Shalom, 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 shalom. Anyway, Father, you know what you're doing. You get your point across. No one can steal from Elohim. Those deaf ears. I'm not listening to it. People are offended because they're like, you won't listen to us. I won't. I have not denied that. I have already said repeatedly of the word, don't trust a man. That I'm not trusting in you over Elohim. That I don't believe when you tell me that I'm not supposed to be with someone or you shouldn't be posting online because that man is stealing your stuff. Is that my responsibility to be worried about him? And when they're like, you exposed that man, you did this to that man, you're not covering that man, blah, 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 blah. Am I supposed to run my life according to their perspective? If Elohim sat here and told me, it's time to share a testimony, do I need to believe them? When they're like, Elohim didn't tell you that, that was that man that told you that. People are like, you were never supposed to return back to that state. We know you're not supposed to be here. However, Elohim prophesied to me when I was a child. These very places I would be here right now. That's how I know they're liars. That's how I know I'm not supposed to follow what they're saying. Because Elohim gave me visions when I was a child of the places that I have lived. In the spaces I have been in the last several years. He had already given me witness of this more than 20 years ago. Were those people in my life or even thought of, even know, did they ever even know me 20 years ago? No, they did not. None of those people. None. The only people who knew me 20 years ago were my relatives. My oldest friend, my oldest associate, my oldest peer, my oldest whomever didn't even know me 20 years ago. They didn't even know me 20 years ago. None of these people have known me for 20 years or more. But Elohim has. It's how another reason, another witness, as I know his word is Qodesh. I know his witness is Qodesh. So I don't listen to them. I'll continue to be esteemed. Father, have your way. Your desires be done on earth as they are in the Shemaim. And I thank you for Shabbat. And I thank you for loving me. And thank you for guidance. And being with me and going before me and behind me. Who shall Mashiach come on? in all of us. And let your prayers be filled, Father. So the other thing I want to say is, even as all creation groans for the sons of Elohim to be revealed, as I do, as they do, my expectation even in that isn't that means that people are placing me on a pedestal or idolizing me or trying to prove things or trying to utilize me as a standard. It is, my expectation is that they measure everything by Messiah. They measure it by the word. They measure it by the Ruach. They measure it by Elohim. And so by your belief, is like, I expect them not to, just as well as I would expect myself, right? I don't expect you to waver just because you or feel like you're missing out, because you're going to encounter things that are contrary to your belief. So if I was Mennonite, if I was Jewish, if I was Muslim, if I was, I didn't celebrate birthdays and holidays, then I would not be offended by, and I can't expect to be offended by, and I can't allow myself to be offended by other people who celebrate it, who I encounter or feel like I'm missing out because they're celebrating and I'm not. Or feel like I have to waver because I don't celebrate. And they're like, well, what are you're missing out on Christmas. You're missing out on. No, I can't allow their beliefs in the belief of the world to then make me waver because I don't celebrate it and they do. Well, you're missing out on, what about gifts and presents? Or it's not even about that. I'm just having time with family. Well, then me and my family can have time with ourselves. You know what I mean? I can always have fellowship. I can always get together. I can always do this. I can always do that. I don't count it to those things of, well, hey, I'm missing out on fun, or I'm missing out on a celebration, or I'm missing out, because then I don't need to waver in my belief of, if I choose to be Muslim, if I choose to be Mennonite, if I choose to be Jewish, if I choose to be Amish, if I choose to live that life in that lifestyle, or I choose to live off grid, I choose to only use solar and wind power, like I choose to live a natural life, I choose to live off the land, or if I choose to live in different ethnicities, if I chose to live in Papua New Guinea, if I chose to live in places that I didn't want to be inhabited, or chose to be a part of a people that did not want to be infiltrated by modern civilization, then that's a choice. And then when other things come to try to change that, it is then up to me to say, no, I'm standing on what I believe, because I believe to live off the land to be a good thing, because I believe to dwell with nature to be a good thing, because I believe to not celebrate these holidays to be a good thing, or to be adding life to me rather than taking away. Because I believe maybe it's better for me to homeschool than for me to socialize my children, or to homeschool and then socialize them up into a certain age, or for me to let them become and knowing who they are and their identity and who their people and who their ethnicity is, then more so I want them to be socialized and cultured by the world. They'll have those experiences with the world, but it's more for me. It means more and adds life more to my life, our lives, to be trained in this way that I want, or I need, or I'm instructed, or I believe that we should go. So I don't expect people, because I don't expect it of myself, for them, I'm not using them as the standard. I'm using Messiah and the word as the standard. Even when I groan inwardly for the sons of Elohim to be revealed. So I utilize that as the standard, and I expect other people to do the same. I expect if you found your community, if you found your tribe, then why are you offended that we're not kinfolk? Why are you offended that you're not friends or family or whatever anymore? When you would, to naturally understand, I naturally understand, hey, that person's Mennonite, that person is Amish, that person is Jewish, that person is Muslim, that person is just all of these other things that I'm not. And naturally, our lifestyles don't coincide, but I don't have to be offended that they want to celebrate Christmas. It's only offensive when you try to act like you don't know I don't celebrate it, and you try to make me do it. Try to enforce it, try to manipulate it and twist it away. If I don't believe that it's necessary for me to instill whatever the spirit of Christmas is in my life or in my family's life, if that's the reason I don't do it, or if the reason I don't do it is because it's celebrating Tammuz, an idol's birthday, or if it's because it's just Elohim says I don't need to do it, whatever reasoning, whatever reason that I believe that it's not adding to my life or adding to the richness of life or adding to the prosperity or the quality of life. If I want fellowship, if I want to gather together, if I want to spread love, there's many ways I can do it on a daily. I don't have to purchase things necessarily for it to be the cause. For example. So then I shouldn't, with my beliefs, then feel like, oh, I'm missing out because they're having Christmas. I'm not. Oh, because today is a day of work for me and it's not a day of relaxing for them. Oh, because of this or because of that. No, I don't have to feel that way. I don't have to believe that, and then I don't have to waver in that. And I don't have to then have someone who pressure me. But what about this? We do it this day and we do it because of this, or you're taking away my traditions and my customs. Well, half of my family does it and half of my family doesn't. Okay. So then I don't have to be offended. I don't have to take it personal. I don't have to be moved and shaken and wavered by it. I don't have to feel like I'm missing out. But I also, am I stopping the people who do that from celebrating? Am I coming inside their house and raining on their parade, shutting it down, banning them, kicking out of their own house? Like, no. Am I then being petty or like, well, now since you want to celebrate Halloween, don't have nothing to do with me, don't come around me, you trying to first me, you been like, am I then doing like manipulative, vindictive things? I'm gonna get vengeance on you because you trying to cut my traditions off. No. As an example. So when Messiah says, what is right in one man's eyes is not right in another man's eyes, only when they have the same measure or standard to live by. That's why my expectation is Messiah. Not for you to use me as your standard to live by. That's part of why I don't understand that. It's like it would be a release for others. It's a release for myself when I'm like, well, you're not the standard anyway. Messiah is. My expectation doesn't come from you. It comes from him. But I do expect when it sends up the revelation that if you're a believer, the word is revealed to you and you convicted by it. And you would agree with him. That's what I expect. I expect people to agree with Messiah. I don't expect them to agree with me. I expect believers and even creation to agree with Messiah, to agree with Elohim, to agree with the Ruach. Not me. I'm not looking to see if you prove me right or wrong or like agree with me, believe me. No. Do you agree with him? Do you agree with him? If you don't use him as a standard by which you live and you show and it's witness that you don't agree with him, then I'm like, well, I know you don't agree with him, so I'm not expecting revelation of him from you. Hence, the you then can't be no wise counsel or a part of my kin, a part of my family, part of my fellowship, because you ain't using him as a standard to live by. And that's what people were saying when they're like, well, you're not using kindness. That's our standard to live by. And I'm like, okay. It's way deeper than that for me when I consider Messiah as the standard. So anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And that's just like, don't be putting it on a pedestal where you're trying to like, well, you nitpick up, you convince that's I'm just doing back the same thing you do to me. No, because I'm expecting you to look to him as a standard. Then when you are convicted and offended and disgusted by sin and death, you understand in your heart that it's like some of these things where it's like I said, the petty stuff of like You're not worried about that. And that's not the root issue there. That's not the thing that you're addressing. You're addressing the sin and death. You ain't addressing like, oh my goodness, this person didn't believe me. Who cares? That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is the sin and the death. What I'm talking about is the standard of a Levi. What I'm talking about is him. And it's like internally, your soul, like, it agrees with Messiah or it doesn't. Like, that's what it, that come down to the come down. When the soul agrees with Messiah, it's like, those people that agree with Messiah because they're like, we don't do that. Or like, you know what I mean? It flows out of them. Then if you flowing out of you, I got to do this spell on you, I got to get vengeance on you, then I'm like, oh, you ain't living by the measure of Messiah. I don't even have the seats up. It just, he ain't doing that. Oh, we don't do that over here. But then it doesn't offend because at the same time, like, it's not offensive in that context. It's not disgusting in that context. The disgust comes from the sin and the death. The sting of it and the grossness of it and like the presence of it's disgust. The presence is disgusting. And so like another believer knows what I'm saying when you have that standard to live by. You know it. You know what I mean. Like, it is a presence. It's not just felt, like, it's gross. You understand what I mean? And it's like some of those things are not needed to be like, you get it. The revelation, that revelation is there. There's clear knowing of when the revelation is there was not. Like, anyway, like somebody trying to overtake your mind and trying to be like, I want you to agree and approve it. That no, I'm not agreeing and approving no lie. No lie. And then people get mad. I don't want you posting online. You don't have to do this. It's necessary. Necessary for reasons that maybe you don't know, don't understand, don't agree with. But when something is necessary of the Ruach, I know it in the Ruach. I'm not asking you to agree with why that's necessary. Why did you live in a yurt? Why did you live in a cabin? Why did you go on a mission? Why did you go witness? Why did you go to this church or that church? Why did you do this, do that? Why are you playing the victim? Why are you condemning? Why are you judging? Why are you spreading hate? Whatever it is. Anyway, Yahuah, thank you. I love you. Be well. Peace and blessings. Oh, shalom. Thank you, Father, for keeping away the people who are wolves in sheep's clothing and liars. Thank you for keeping me away from the churches that have told my spouse that it's okay for him to have a wife of his youth that there's no account to, and then to be married to another woman and make a marriage agreement and then be in that for years, and then, oh, it's okay to diddle and dabble in that, and then, oh, because now she has a new fiance and she has children by him, and no, those marriages weren't of the Ruach, but oh, it's okay to go from wife to wife, and then to make a marriage covenant with you, write it in paper, write it over and over, make it before Elohim, and have a family with you, and have children with you, and move across state, and plans of moving across state, of building a whole life together, and then to say, oh, it's okay for you, whenever challenges come to, it's okay, you can just go and be with someone else. And make an agreement with other people. We don't have multiple marriages. We don't have open marriages. We don't have other things that are outside of the word. The word says there's one of the Ruach. You have the accountability to the maidens. You have accountability to Elohim, but Messiah says there's only one marriage of Ruach. Why would I be around churches and people who promote that? Why would I be in a church who would promote dads to have a marriage of the Ruach and be separated from those wives where they have more than 5 children with, and then go be with other women? Why would I be affiliated with people and relatives who say it's the way of the world, and churches who teach them it's the way of the world and it's okay for you to commit fornication and adultery and get divorced, when Messiah says there's no divorce of the marriage of the Ruach? Why would I be with places and spaces and people that tell you, hey, I know this is my husband and my wife from the Ruach Elohim revealed it to me. And actual Qodesh witnesses revealed it, but it's okay to be away from it. Why? Why would I be affiliated with false people, false teachers, false pastors, false churches, false relatives, false fake friends, false community people will say, it's the way of the world. It's okay for you to have sex with married men. The sickness that these people would be like, oh, they're like, you need to let go of the husband you got. How he gonna be a good father and be a good man and be a good husband when he wasn't good the first 5 years of your marriage, the first 5.5 years of your marriage, the first 2 children you had? You weren't sent here for that, to reconcile and for Elohim to work it out. You were sent here to be with another man. And all of these people like all of these things. That ain't what your Elohim sent you here for. He don't want you. We don't want you to be with him. He has not been good. He was never good at all from the beginning. You deserve better than that. He don't treat you right. You shouldn't be with him. That ain't your marriage. We don't care if Elohim made a marriage of the Ruach. We don't care if y'all have covenant. We don't care if you have it in writing. We don't care if there's many Qodesh witnesses. You don't need to be with him, because he don't do right. You need to be treated better. You should be with somebody else. Go sleep with somebody else. Go be in a relationship with somebody else. Go have children with somebody else. That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to be with them. Oh, is that the same thing the church said to other relatives? Did they say that to even my own dad? Oh, you ain't supposed to be the marriage of your Ruach. How many men have Elohim revealed the marriage of their Ruach to? And they told us. And we know, because he revealed it to us too. In prophecy. And we know who their marriage of Ruach. And we know when he told them to make what Elohim had already made one in Ruach. Or did in private and blending of their Ruach. And they already revealed that they plan to make it public. You know, just to honor Elohim. And how many of them men did he do that to? And he made a plan for their life. And he instructed them in a way. And they're not following his instruction. They now doing some other thing. Following after men. Got tripped up in a snare. Following after humans. Following after the church. Believing what churches, what pastors, what these fake men who have committed adultery over and over and over again, and promote adultery. Promote lasciviousness. Promote coveting. Promote, just be with the one you love. It's not just be with the one you love. It's not just be with the one you made an Ishmael with. It's be with whoever Elohim said you were one in Ruach with. Yeah, you're going to have accountability to Ishmael. I'm quite literally meaning the situation with Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar. How many of these churches is literally telling that to men and women? They try to tell it to me. They tried to tell it to me and they still do. Well, that's not yours. And these fake relatives that don't know me, that are distant, who then cheated in their marriages and coveted and came from other stuff and broke up true marriages of the Ruach because, I feel this way. And my life looks dainty and pretty now. All the while, telling me to come to their Holy Spirit-filled churches that ain't filled with the Spirit. They promote the ways of the world. And how many of them have said, this is the way of the world. This is how the world do it. Let me see you make it out here in the world on your own. It's the world. How many of them are promoting, follow what man says versus what Elohim said? Elohim might have told you. He might have tell you to witness overseas. He might have told you to do a mission trip. And they're like, nah, I don't feel like doing that. I don't have to do that. Oh, your skills are usable for this. How many times have they say everybody's hurt because she don't know the value of her work? Why are you posting online? Why you keep doing the things Elohim telling you to do? Why do you go camp out? Why do you go travel around? Why do you go do the missions? Why do you go work where he tells you to work? Why would you want to go work to a place where you're overly qualified, where you're more than qualified than the upper management? Why do you want to be here when you're overly qualified? How many humans to ask us these questions? Why? Why you want to do this and do this when you can be working with this? Why did you turn down offers to work with very rich and wealthy people every day and recently?
Why did you turn down hundreds of thousands of dollars that you could make in a day and make in a month to work at a everyday place, to work at the average job? You don't know the value of your work. You don't know the worth of your work. Why you keep posting your work online for other people to use it, for other people to give revelation and to use it for their churches and their pastors and their sermons? Why are you giving all your intellectual property away for free? You can't stop me from getting your intellectual property out of these lies. See, this is why I'm going to go on. You done showed me. Like you building case files on everything. You got a case file on your own marriage. You got proof and documentation of your own marriage. Of everything from your marriage. You got all the stuff from your own marriage. You share it with your husband. And they're like, oh. Other people are like, well, this is why I'm going to get my intellectual property. Or remember when you did research on organizations and people swore up and down you were following them. Those people are insignificant to you. Are you doing what you're saying for you doing, the little boys and the girls in the community and the women? Did I look you up? Did I look up the organization? Did I look up Dale Dems, or did I look up each individual specifically? Did I look up specific things about whether or not you worship witchcraft or not? Was it about you, or was it about your fake leadership? Was it about you, or was it about you going against Elohim? What is it about you, or was it about finding out whether or not you truly Christian? Whether you truly follow Messiah, whether you truly are in faith, or whether you are out here promoting the devil? Whether you are out here being a wolf in sheep's clothing and telling Elohim's people, you don't got to be with your spouse of the Ruach. We know who they are. It was already revealed years ago. Just as Elohim revealed it to me. Just as he revealed it to my spouse. Just as we have Elohim has whole records in the Shemaim from the true elders and true prophets that he sent to witness to me about it. Just like the prophecies and the visions about it. I would be a sinner against Elohim to deny that. And you know how many fake pastors, fake relatives, distant relatives, people who don't know you, people from community, lying men who said, oh, you were doing a class with us, and lied and said we have relationships with them because whine and cry. I didn't have no relationship with you. Would lie against my relationship with Elohim and my. How many people would try to continue to lie on my commitment and my vow and my covenant and my marriage union to Elohim? How many relatives, so-called friends, so-called people that are related to my spouse and friends with them? How many from the beginning of the marriage? How many people, how many pastors and people out here, and how many people in there who were of so-called the faith community said, she's dangerous to us. When we were first started posting on YouTube, we don't want you on there. Because they have ordained marriages in the physical realm that are not of Elohim. And we know they're not. And the people who Elohim has revealed to them their true spouse know that they are not. And the people that are choosing to walk in fornication and walk in adultery to this very day and have not repented to Elohim know that they are not. And the individuals know choosing to live selfish lives instead of having accountability to their oaths to Elohim. Your oath is not going because you try to did try to do a physical divorce, or your oath is not going because your pastor approved it. Messiah himself said, though it may be blessed by a priest, I will tell you, if it's not of the Ruach, it's holy fornication. There is sin inside and outside of marriage. These men who are like, oh, they're divorced, it's okay for you to look at other women. If you're divorced, it's okay for you to look at other men to covet somebody else's spouse, to lust after them. And I kept telling these men who were lying on me about, oh, we had a relationship, or I'm going to be in a relationship, or, oh, I'll marry you, I'll have babies with you, I'll do this and do that. Where's your husband at? Why don't we see you around with them and all of this kind of stuff? You deserve better than that. Your husband's not treating you right and not treating you well. Your family's not treating you right and not treating you well. Everybody knows you going against a lot of the people coming to get you is your own family. All of this chit chatter that they say to be nosy or whatever, or to want to find a witness, or because they're groaning inwardly. And I tell them, you are sinning against Elohim every time you even put out of your mouth that you're going to try to be in a relationship with, that you would try to build that kind of relationship with me. I would have to tell people over and over and over, no, you call me Miss So-and-so, or you call me by my first name, because I am not. I am a married person. I am not someone you could consider to be in a relationship with. You sin even when you say, oh, I should have a baby with somebody else. I should be married to somebody else. You are going against Elohim. And so why would I be around people who will promote that? They're like, oh, the reason she's been off by herself, and we understand, is because she wanted to get away from all her own family. She wanted to get away from all of these people who disturb her spirit. All of these people who would disturb the spirit. How about all of these people who claim to be of faith? Who my Ruach and my being and my soul groans inwardly for the revelation of the sons of Elohim in them. Anytime I'm around them, anytime they have something to say, anytime they speak, my Ruach and my soul and my being groans inwardly for Elohim to reveal the sons of Elohim to them. For Elohim to give them the revelation of Messiah, of Elohim and of the Ruach instead of man. Men that would say, oh, come on, come get a drink with me. And not just a drink, but encourage you to be a drunkard. Oh, come on, you don't got to do all of that. How many times was they telling me this? Oh, you bear false witness, you do this, you do that. Oh, you're not supposed to be with them because it's not so easy as we thought. He said, what did he say about marriage? What did he say about love? Unless it's been tried on the anvils. And all these people are like, well, that's not love because you're not kind to me. You don't show up how I don't want you to. You don't like me or my family in a way I want you to. You don't like the people that I like. You don't like the things that I like. You don't agree with everything I agree with. We're not literally like two peas in a pod, the same person. How many times is Elohim put together? There are things that are like you and you become one. How many times did he say when a man and woman become one? The Ruach, in the Ruach with Elohim, the Shemaim can come to earth. The devil hates that. So you go around and you got a lot of people promoting not to have that so the world can remain tainted. So the world could be sick. So the world could be full of enmity of Elohim. But guess what? I'm not going to be another person who contributes to this world being an enemy of Elohim. Even if you decide to sin against Elohim, I will be like Yosef. When he said to that woman, Potiphar's wife, who was already married, come lie with me, Yosef. I will not sin against my Elohim for you, for no man, for no woman, for no community, for no fake family, for no fake relatives, for no distant relatives, for no fake church, for no false beliefs, for no idolatry. I don't care if it was my own children, my own spouse, my own parents. I know what Elohim said. I watched that transpire in my own family. Elohim has revealed marriages of the Ruach in my own family. I watch women around the world and men around the world be blending in Ruach with one individual by Elohim, and they know it. Elohim knows it. The wife and the husband know it. And the people around them try to separate that. Work it through the adversary because, well, I don't like the way they treat you, or I don't like this that they do, or, well, but y'all got two different, he's a dentist and you're a hairstylist. How are y'all ever going to have a life together? He's is laid back and low key and likes the wilderness and likes to be in the suburban and likes the country and likes the simple life, and you like the party. Clearly, y'all, Elohim wouldn't dare put y'all together. That's the kind of ways that man thinks. That's why your thoughts and your opinions do not matter to me. Your thoughts and your opinions don't matter to me. I don't like that you judging me and my family. The word says to judge righteously. I don't like that you judge people in the community. I don't like that you misjudge. And how many people are misjudging all the time? We own up to the fact that the word tells us to judge. And to judge righteously. There's one instance where it says, don't judge, lest you be judged. Okay, and least you be judged by the same measure you meet. Am I afraid to be judged by the same measure? Or are you the one who's afraid to be judged by the same measure? Because you're supposed to judge. Don't you know you would judge messengers? As y'all call them, angels? Why would you do these things? You deserve better than that. You can make almost $300,000 in a month with that company or this or that. Why would you work with them? Why would you work over here where you don't even get 0.1% of that? Why? You don't know the value of what you got in your work. No, you don't know the value of Messiah. Why would you devalue and degrade Messiah's instruction and calling for your own selfish gain, for your own greed, for your own reputation, for your own name? Oh, y'all won't take Messiah coming in his own name, but you'll take a physical man coming in the name of, let's see, Andrew. Your name might be Andrew. You coming, oh, I'll bring in my name in that. I'll come in my own name. I'm going to be my own star. But I won't make Messiah the light of the world. Will I deny him before the world? Oh, you always judging. Y'all are judging. Your very thoughts and comments are judgment. Am I afraid of it? Am I afraid of righteous judgment? No. I'm not afraid of judgment when David, that's like I said with him. Elohim, judge me. Test my inward parts. Try my inward parts. See if there be any wicked way inside of me. So when you ask him to judge you, and then these people were like, well, she's going and she's working at these lowly places and going to these lowly places and doing these things and under spiritual warfare and attack because Elohim is judging her. You the one that's being judged. You the one that needs, you the one that want attention. You the one. Okay, that's a lie, but that's what you believe. It's a lie, but that's what you believe. Then you got other people, well, I thought she was truly having sense. She's really having sense. She's really helping a lot of people. We just know you deserve to have your own family too. You deserve that. You help so many people. You did this, you did that. You explain, you did it. I understand that it's this and that. We just want to help you. All of those people, cops were following because they know that you were on assignment, or they know that you were doing this and doing that, or they know that you need help. They try to flip everything out there. Oh, she needs mental help. Oh, she's under attack. She's under duress. Oh, the politicians are trying to say it's your duress. The churches and the pastors are trying to say you're under duress. We tried to help that girl. It's a lie. Oh, that's why people are following you, because they're trying to make sure you're okay. It's a lie. It's a lie. Oh, they're following you in person because don't you understand the influence that you now have? That's why. No. We had deliberately talked about specific situations where specific people meant what? Ill intentions. And that's all it was. They meant ill intentions, and we're not going to pretend it was something else. They meant ill intentions. They're like, they mean ill intentions to ask you these questions so you can put all your personal business out there. I don't want you putting my personal business out there.
I don't want people seeing my face and knowing, and Elohim told me to cover it in a certain way. Have I put your face out here? Have I put your face out there? Have I put written agreements out there? Have I put the records out there that could be put out there? No. That's not the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to address the wickedness and to address the lies. And whatever other reason, the witness of Elohim, the testimony of Elohim, testimony, overcoming. You talking about you're slandering people in the community. It's not slander. Slander would be a lie. Slander would be a lie. I sat in churches and that was the last straw, where I heard pastors not address a husband's adultery in the moment, lusting after a waitress, but address the fact that, oh, these women just need to get wise. See, he was lusting after that waitress, and then immediately committed sin in his own heart against Elohim. And he's a pastor, and instead of addressing his sin with his wife, and for the whole congregation to know, you taught the congregation that, oh, see, the women got to get wise, and what she had to do was start to dress like the waitress. That's not Elohim. It's not, oh, you're going to stop that pastor from sinning by dressing differently. You're going to stop him from coveting and committing adultery by dressing differently, by lusting after another woman in his heart. Because you sin once immediately once you do that. That's what the Messiah says. That's what the word says. I sat in congregations where they promote you to sin against Elohim and claim it to be wisdom. Well, it ain't wisdom. It's of the world. And it's disgraceful, and it's disgusting, and it's despicable. And it's why Elohim did not anoint you and appoint you to lead his people. And though you may have gone through education in the world, and though the world may have appointed you, and though may it be blessed by a priest, it certainly is not blessed by the word, by Elohim and by his son and by the Ruach. Though these pastors may have told you, oh, you get these girls pregnant. Okay, choose to be. How many did you get pregnant? How many women did you get pregnant? Okay, be with this one now. Oh, you want a fame career? Oh, be with this one now. Because we can package it pretty on the outside. But Elohim says, that's not your spouse. How many people are like, well, I was married. I met people, I was married. Or I was born a woman and now I'm a man. Oh, somebody just showed me that story yesterday. Now I'm a man. Or the day before. But they still having babies. They have their children call them daddy, though they were a woman and still biologically a woman because they still producing babies. But have their children call them dad and daddy. And daddy's pregnant for the third time. Daddy is pregnant for the third time. And what does that do to their children, but also the children and the people that encounter them? So imagine you have your children, which they always naturally do, talk about the things, their life, right? They're giving witness of their life. I had a child tell me the other day, oh, it was a fire down the street. It was a fire over there the other day. So when they go to school or they have their friends around or kids that they're interacting with, my daddy's pregnant. But the other kids at the other house is taught mommy's pregnant. All of that confusion because you decided to make your choice be the thing that you want to live by. But your partner is biologically male, which is how you're getting pregnant. You're biologically female, they're biologically male. You choose to be called daddy, and you're pregnant. So it's akin to that. These churches, well, you're welcome. Let's just be kind to one another. It's enough hard stuff out there. Let's be kind. What do you think that's doing to the child? And all the people who are witnessing that and encountering that. What does that do to your Ruach being in their presence? What does that do to the Ruach in me? The Ruach of Elohim in me.
around the presence of a lie such as that. I already told you what it does to the presence of those things. What it does to the Ruach in me. Groaning for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. When I was in the presence of these churches that promoted sin to their congregation, the groaning of the Ruach was groaning inwardly in me, waiting for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. When I was around distant relatives, it's the way of the world. She's delaying herself. You need to learn to be independent. You need to learn to, let me see you be out in the world. Let me see you with situational ethics. Let me see you with, it's the way the world does it. Oh, sleeping with married women? Knowingly? Okay. Your friends taught you that that's what you should do. And they're trying to tell you they're friends. They're trying to tell you, oh, we got your back. I told her I got her back. You don't got my back. Don't teach me what you taught my relatives. That is not of Elohim. Oh, if the world does it, it's okay. Oh, your friends told you it was cool, it's okay. Oh, your friends took you out on it, it's okay. Oh, your friends promoted it, it's okay. They did the same. I watched them do that with my relatives. I watched them do that. They, like I said, these congregations, it's the same. It's specific people. Oh, we supposed to be bros. We supposed to be sis. Nah. You're not my bro. You're not my sis. And teaching that. And encouraging that. And promoting that. And you're not my brother's bro promoting that. You're not my sister's sister promoting that. You're not my husband's bro or sis or brethren or family promoting that. How many people talk about you coming against my family? No, I'm not. That's not your family. Promoting fornication. Promoting for you to sin against Elohim. It was so severe and so serious in David, in Joseph, in Daniel, in Messiah, in Abraham, in every witness in the Bible, in every witness in the Word, in every witness in heaven, and every witness in nature, not to transgress, not to sin against Elohim. That these people are not for your soul when they tell you and expound in error upon the things that are of the world and claim them to be of Elohim. You are not, my brethren, promoting that. Every time you encourage me to sin against Elohim, oh, the world does it. You gotta learn to be this and do that. And then once Elohim is like, okay, I'm gonna pull her away from you. Because you had a problem with her. Now why are you harassing me? I'm going to pull her away from you. I'm going to show her and reveal her things that you wanted her to know and wanted her to see. And now when she's bringing it before you, oh, it's a problem. I'm going to tell her the oughts that you've had with her and have with her. And now when I reveal it, oh, it's a problem. I'm going to tell her to give her testimony and give witnesses of her experiences because you think she didn't know nothing, think she didn't go through anything, and now it's a problem. I'm going to teach her in my way of relationship, and when she expresses that and keeps to that for her sake with me and her love for me as her father, as Elohim, and you have a problem with that, and they say, oh, you think you know it all, you think you know about relationships, you think you know this, you don't know that. You delaying yourself. Oh, you just mad because everybody knows they're connected to you and you're not doing your part. Places that he would send me and they would show me the proper way to do things. And staff members who wanted to cut corners would get upset when I would do the full process. When I would do righteously. And other people said they get upset when you do righteously because it witnesses against their unrighteousness. If you know you're supposed to sanitize this whole room and they don't do that, it witnesses against their laziness, their unrighteousness, their knowing the truth, their knowing the right way, they knowing what they're supposed to do and they're choosing not to do it. But here is someone in the midst of them doing what they are supposed to be doing. and they feel convicted. And they don't like the way it makes them feel to sit here and watch you sanitize this whole room and know that they were supposed to do it, but they refused. And Messiah witness of that. The two sons who were given instruction, and the one said no. And so he went to the other one and asked the other one, and the other one said, yes, I'll do it. But the second one who said yes never did it. The one who said no repented and went and did the task. The one who said yes never did the task. So Elohim instructed me to do a thing, and I'm following his instruction. And those who have not obeyed the instruction of Elohim, and I'm not just meaning to the letter of law. Like I said, we ain't talking about sacrifices. I mean the instruction of Elohim. Go on this mission. Keep your oath to me. I revealed this person to you who needed prayer. I revealed this person to you who's heavy laden and burdened. I revealed this. I put you in here. I opened the door for this. I opened the door for that. I placed it in your heart. I don't want you working with that organization. Though you could make riches. Though the people would love for you. Though relatives and those people who care about the outer appearance. And who care about their politics, who care about their positioning, who care about what men have to say, want you to take those positions that will bring them instant riches. And I mean that. Like instant riches. Though they want you to be a part and be affiliated with that group, that organization, that place, that space, those people, though they want you to validate these people who call themselves elite and rich. They want you to validate that. Daughter, I'm telling you, I want you to be over here instead. And then they got mad. Like, why would you turn us down? This and this and this. Why would you turn that? You don't know your value of your work and the worth of your work. Every time we do something for Elohim, that's their offense. Oh, she's a disciple. She needs to be a pastor. She needs to be a faith leader. Oh, no, because how many people came to us and said, you're the only faith leader we have. We know that these people are not really leading us. And Elohim is your leader. Messiah is your leader. You don't have to be afraid to get close to him and to trust him to lead you. You don't need somebody else to tell you whether or not you're doing it right or wrong. Elohim will not forsake those who put their trust in him. You have to believe. You will have to come to that meet cute with him yourself. And he will not forsake your faithfulness to him. You give a false witness, looks like he forsaken you because you do things that seem weird to the world, wild to the world, but they understand the truth in it. It's not strange. Though they do things that are strange to Elohim and promote the strangeness against Elohim, such as fornication, such as break off your oaths. They're not doing right. Forget them people. Don't go into the community. Go work with the rich. We gonna make you rich. I was trying to make you rich. I want you to be rich because it pumps up their ego. Or their feelings, or their idols, their reputation, their campaign, whatever it is. They like to play the games, and they try to encourage us. Oh my gosh, how many you need to learn a game. It's just a game, it's just play the game, No! Is that what Elohim taught us? Just because man said that. Dick Gregory said it's a game, but do I follow Dick Gregory or do I follow Elohim? Do I follow Martin Luther King or do I follow Elohim? Do I follow actual Harriet Tubman and do I follow Elohim? Do I follow Moses or am I following Elohim? When they witnessed against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness, were they witness against them, the messengers, or are they witness against Elohim? When Miriam, when her skin went from melanated to non-melanated, as leprous as snow, because she was speaking against the messengers of Elohim, was it witness against Elohim or of Elohim, what he said? Did his word change? Has he changed? Anyway, these and they're like, oh, is that why you're spending so much time by yourself? That why you're proving you don't need to be around other people? Some people are like, you make it so easy to seem like not to care about what other people think. May you be encouraged by Elohim and the witness of him in your own life. May you be down when the women, okay, Father, the sister from overseas, first of all, the Asian one, she be on it with the prayers. The other sister who has been, Father, you had allowed her to give so many praise reports of the reconciliations that you had intended. How long did you have her contending, or how long did you have others contending for the marriage of the Ruach, for true marriages? That the enemy doesn't want to be in effect because it will bring your reign unto the earth. Because it reflects you upon the earth. Not just because people learn how to be kind to one another. You can be kind to the woman that calls herself daddy. You can be kind to the woman who is pregnant, who has been blessed to have a child for the third time from her womb, who's carrying children in her womb and likes to be called daddy, have her kids call her daddy. I was in a situation where people used to say, it makes me think of when people are adopted. And they said and a lot of times they feel like there comes a point where they want to know who their real parents are. It's also spiritually, right? When he says you're adopted and you're grafted back in, you want to know who your real father is, right? Who's your real father? All people want to know that. Return back to creation, to the creator. But when you're adopted, you want to know who your real dad is. Or even the widows and the orphans. Or people wanting to belong. And not only wanting to belong, but people want to feel a belonging, camaraderie, together, not insecure. Yeah, the wealthy want to feel that too. Those rich people wanted to feel that too. That's why I said their cure is Elohim. Their cure is Elohim. For what ails their insecurities too. That emptiness too. Anyway, their desire for prosperity. That you may prosper even as your soul prospers in Elohim. But orphans, what's it called, Father? Not only orphans, but adopted children and biological children, right? The yearning for the revealing of the sons of Elohim. To be revealed to the Father, for be revealed of the Father, and revelation of the Father, and the love of the Father, and oneness with the Father, and belonging in the Father, and acceptance from the Father. Acceptance. They wanted love and acceptance. He loved you and accepted you from the beginning as he created you. He didn't say you had to be different externally. Why is it that people feel like changing their external appearance will bring them wholeness on the inside? Why is it they feel that wearing lingerie or putting on makeup or the dress, the outer appearance, will determine whether or not they are whole and complete on the inside? Why is it having the right hairstyle, the right haircut, the right shoes or outfits or brands on the external why is it that people think that will cure or fill the feelings that they have on the inside? Is it a temporary fix? Is it a temporary, I beautified my outside so now I feel better on the outside? Or is it the long-term solution of, this is a deep well, a deep void, and the only thing that can cure the feeling of abandonment, of being an orphan, of being adopted, of confirming my identity, confirming my original identity, confirming who I am, confirming what I was from the beginning, confirming as Jeremiah, as Elohim said to Jeremiah, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb. That you were always, as he said to the son who never became a prodigal, you were always with me. You were always mine. Like you always belonged. You always had a home, and a home is a shamayim. Affirming that in your being. That your being could be what? Entered into the rest of Elohim. That you receive the rest of Elohim. Your soul is at rest. Your soul is at rest. Knowing the truth. Receiving the truth. So, people who are adopted, people who are orphans, and when you go through that, or identity crises, midlife crises, different things like that, insecurities, not enough, traumatized, victimized, abused, misused, slandered, sickness, disease, insecurities, the lies. Did having multiple wives actually truly fill you? Did having multiple sexual partners actually fill you? Did be getting a brand and becoming an influencer fill you? Did becoming rich fill you? How many stories out here do they say people don't care about you? How many wealthy people, rich people, sharks included, say people don't care about you? That's what they learn by their riches, by their wealth, by their experience. Do they give it up? Do they feel like that is an area of their life that is voided, that needs to be filled, that they need to feel cared about? Can having all the external things make you feel cared about? Can having all the external things make you feel whole and complete and filled? Can having all the right environments and places and spaces and community and events and parties and ships and all of these things, and the reading all the right books, all the right literature, the white picket fences, is that what fills us? Because people were like, that's you're the one that needs to be filled. You can't see that you're the one that's empty. That's not true, but that's what they believe. Can the idea of being full, romance, my marriage will be better if I just had so much more romance. If you bought me flowers, if you sent me gifts, if you gave me gifts and surprises, if I showed up from working at home in a long day and you acknowledged me, if you gave me my flowers, if you took me on outings and dates, if you asked what I wanted, if you came and apologized to me, if you built the house on the firm foundation of Elohim. That's what these people are like, oh, a wise woman built her house. That's why you're not being wise. I can see what happened in your marriage and what's happening in your marriage. And what happened in your marriage because you're not being wise. You don't understand man and what a man needs. You did this and you did that. You're not being there for your husband in the way that you should. You're not making that man feel good and feel right. You're not giving, you give all the gifts and surprises. Oh, women give all the gifts and surprises. Oh, they're not being appreciated. Oh, he's not being appreciated. Oh, marriage is what you make of it. Life is what you make of it. Work is what you make of it. Belief is what you make of it. Community is what you make of it. How many people told us, I'm trying to show you what life is all about. I'm trying to help you out and show you what life is all about. Oh, you need to keep people's name out your mouth. How many of the men say that are cowards? Every last man whom they know their wife of the Ruah, and I know who their wife of the Ruah is, has said that. The cowards have said that. The cowards who are defiling Elohim and not living the life that Elohim told them, instructed them, he had for them, are the ones who keep trying to tell me to keep other people's name out of my mouth. the ones who are in deliberate defiance of Elohim, meaning they're doing witchcraft against Elohim, because to rebel against him is witchcraft. Those are the ones who keep telling me to keep people's names out of my mouth. The women included. These men and women who I know and they know and other people know are not doing what Elohim instructed them to do, because he revealed it. He revealed it in prophecy. They revealed it openly at family meetings or different things like that. Elohim revealed it in revelation and vision. And we know who their spouse is. Or we know what he assigned for them. Or where their territory is. Or what their assignment is. And the only reason we know is because he already gave that to them. But anyway, we know this. And they know this. And they know we know this. And they continue to be like, keep people's names out of your mouth and all of this. Because they are not doing what Elohim instructed them to do. They're not. They are not following Elohim. They're following man. They are living a selfish life in existence, a worthless existence, because they're not. They are actively building upon opposition of Elohim. They're actively building not for, but against what Elohim told them to build. They are actively going against what Elohim instructed them. So if he told them, this is your wife of Ruach, love her again, lay with her again, they're actively not doing that. If he told them, I have an assignment for you, go here, they're actively not doing that. If he told them, I called you to this, I gave you this name, this is who you are, this is what I'm instructing you to do, they're actively not doing that. Those who have rejected, that's Elohim and Messiah, and then they want to try to correct me and trying to get me to go against my oaths of Elohim, because they have broken their oath to Elohim. They are trying to refuse to serve Elohim. And they think that they're going to get me to refuse to serve Elohim with them. And it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So anyway, this whole conversation and everything always points back to the Father. Always points back to Elohim. Always points back to Elohim. They're like, she's the one that hasn't let go. No. The people who had these odds that kept bringing them up every day that had addressed this stuff right here, right now. Why am I addressing it, Elohim? Because these people have an ought and wanted to bring it up and wanted to make something seem like as a problem with Elohim, where there is no problem with Elohim. It's just a problem with man. Because man doesn't want to abide in Elohim. But that's not my problem. It's not my problem that you don't want to abide in Elohim. And so then these other people that are like, you're supposed to be on this team or that team. No. With Elohim, where in the witness of the word does Elohim have disciples to be together on a team with people they don't agree with? Or the people where there was contention? Or when their men had contention? So example, when there were people, when my husband's friends had contention with me in our first year of marriage, and they didn't want my husband to be married with me, and they actively encouraged him to go out and be with other people, or in the sense of, let's go party, let's go do this, and let's go do that, would I be around those people who tried to come against what Elohim said was Qodesh? No, I would not. Would I be on a team with those people who actively encouraged my spouse to go against the desire of Elohim? No, I would not. I have witnessed that and watched that in so many women and men, relatives and beyond. I watched the courting process with some men and other women, where Elohim instructed them, and he said to the woman where they were going through the courting process, it is that woman's choice. It's her choice with regards to certain things. As Messiah said, a woman knows her worth best. Like, they were in the courting process and Yahuah was bringing them together. And family was already met, different things like that. But there had to be, the agreement. But he also there are marriages that people used to say to me whether or not, does Elohim plan marriages? And people of the Jewish belief say yes. There are many witnesses of the word where it was actually ordained from the beginning, Toveyah. Well, mine is like that. Elohim was like, this is the person I created you for. So, yes, there will become an agreement in different things at time, but I already telling you this is the person that I created you for. You can make, he asked me what was my choice. And I said, I choose what you choose, Elohim. I choose what you choose. So people try to go against the choice of Elohim, as we already know. Pastors who have encouraged other people to go against the choice of Elohim. But it doesn't stop that that's Elohim's choice. It was always his choice. It's always going to be his choice. It's always his choice. If he tells you, I want you to go to this university, and you choose somewhere else, that didn't mean that Elohim's choice changed, or that the things that he had for you there aren't the things that he had for you there. You can choose something else. It doesn't mean that he's taking, depending on what it is. Like Jonah with the situation with Nineveh, he waited for Jonah. No, I'm going to bring you back around here regardless because I need you to go here and I already told you to go here. So right now, though, you try to make the choice to run away from it and say, no, I'm still going to take you to Nineveh. There are many things where Elohim, for his word to be fulfilled, he has to do a thing. Abraham and Sarah. He had to, though they tried to go in their own way, because it had been years, right? They had been waiting for years to have a son. Years to have a son. And so then, they were like, well, maybe I'm supposed to have a son another way. Maybe it's not supposed to be through me, even though Elohim said it's supposed to be through you. And then remember, there was a 13-year gap. And on the 14th year, Isaac was born. There's a 13-year gap between Ishmael and Isaac, the promised seed. So they still had to wait again. They had learned from the first experience. We are waiting on Elohim. In his timing, he will do what he said he would do. And he had told Abraham, walk before me and be perfect. He told me the same thing. When he gave me a covenant and commitment. So he's like, in the time where he perfected them to trust in him. And to not lean on their understanding. And to not try to bring Isaac forth in their own way. Not try to bring another woman into the marriage. Not try to bring another woman into the union. Not listen to what other people had to say. Not listen to what Hasatan had to say. But to completely rely on what Elohim said. Elohim said he was going to do it. Elohim said it will be through Sarah. And he confirmed it twice. He said, oh, let Ishmael live. Let this, let that. He said, no. It will be through your wife. Your wife. He didn't call anyone else Abraham's wife. He did not call Hagar Abraham's wife. He said, no, it will be through your wife. Your wife, Sarah. Your wife. I have said that I will do this. And I will. No different when he told Noah, there will be an ark. You are witnessing upon the earth by building it against the people who don't believe. By doing what I said. But also you're witnessing in that you are coming into agreement with me by building what I told you to build. By believing me and trusting me and continuing in the instruction that I have given you. Do you waver? Maybe times there were doubt. Maybe times there were stumbling. But you pick back up and repent, Elohim. I know you said you will be creating an ark. And you are utilizing me and my family, my hands, your messengers and your people to do it. And I will not stop